Welcome back, Shimboners. On today's pod, we've got part 3 of our player reviews. We're going to run through the top 10 of last night's Syd Barker Medal. To help me break it all down, we've got the Big Chief, we've got the Frog. I'll start with you, Frog. How are we? How was the week?
Yeah, pretty good. It's always good watching W win.
Exactly.
Another one today.
Big Chief, welcome.
Thanks, Baz. My man gets up. He's won the Basti, and he's backed up with the Sid, as predicted.
Yeah, first time in 13 years we've had a tie in the Syd Barker, which was great to see. We'll run through the top 10 in a minute with the Frog. He's got it up. So before we get there, though, I just want to get your thoughts on the Charlie Spargo acquisition. Obviously, Chief and I did about 10 minutes, had some differing views and got a bit hot in the kitchen at some stages. But what are your thoughts on Spargo and what he can bring?
Wasn't hot for me, buddy.
For me, I wouldn't give up a draft pick for him. So we don't have to. So when it goes to free agency, I look at things a little bit differently because for that very reason, as a free agent. And we have a lot of small forwards currently or half forwards. So we've got Constanti, Harvey, Hansen, Banch, Payne, Stevens, Fisher, if we're going to count him. That's 6, 7. So now Spargo gives us 8. But out of those 7, we have, with JK as our best, he crops a lot of shit, doesn't he? So if nothing, it puts pressure on all those guys to you got to lift because we've got a premiership player coming in. Yeah, he's been hurt by injury. He's probably not a great acquisition for most top teams. If we're not a top team, we've probably got a lot of list cloggers. So I'm not against it, but he's a free agent. Whether he gets himself fit, I don't know. That's just one of those mysteries. But I don't mind it.
And the 3 years, are you happy with that?
Well, it's got to be 2 as a minimum anyway, so you're not going to get someone to come for 2, I don't think.
Right, fair enough.
But, we'll wait and see. Not over the moon, but I'm like, we're not going to get a really gun player coming as much as I'd like to see it. So, and a couple of those guys I mentioned probably won't make the list anyway. So it has to be some sort of an upgrade at the moment. But he obviously has to get himself fit. But he's a pretty good ball user from the little bits I've seen of him. But yeah.
We'll wait and see. We'll hold our breath and see how he goes. Let's run through the top 10 of the Sid. So we'll start in 10th place, Frog. Who have we got there?
Paul Curtis.
Which was surprising to you and I, Chief, as well. We'll link him in with number 9 as well, my man Cam Zerha. I thought both those guys would have finished a lot higher than they did. Very surprising. It's turned into a little bit of a midfielders award, it seems.
Yeah, well, it can be. I think it rewards consistency because of their voting system, whereas you compare it to the most prestigious, whereas we probably reward excellent and don't reward consistency because we just vote 5-1. But the top 2, or both winners, because shout out to Harry who won his second at only 20 years of age, they were both top 2 in the Basti.
Right, 8, 7, 6. Who have we got there, Frog?
Tom Powell's at 8 and Colby at 7 and Caleb Daniel at 6 and all separated by only 4 votes.
Well, this is what I put the top 10 up on the socials last night, and I tell you what, there were some strong responses from a lot of our loyal boners out there about Caleb Daniel finishing in 6th, and yeah, I'm not really too sure about it. What are your first thoughts?
I thought Colby would have finished higher because but the back half of the year he did close that gap down. So I would assume, because anybody can get votes, and we didn't see the individual tallies, only the top 4 or 5. I didn't watch it all anyway, but from each game, you'd assume 23 games and probably 18 of them. Daniel's probably got 6 to 8, 10 votes. I'm not sure if he got any big high ones or not, but so what's he got, 160, so that's 16 tens roughly, just say if that's what it was. So Colby probably had a few early in the year. He probably didn't poll hardly any, struggling at half forward, and then some, maybe got a few, I don't know, but so you'd think next year I think Colby would be higher. So, but I was surprised Daniel was 6. I thought it'd be just probably outside the 10.
Yeah.
But when you play every game, it obviously helps. I mean, Harry played every game and he wouldn't have equaled X if he didn't.
Yeah, and Tom Power, Chief, good to see him with another top 10 finish, and sort of leads on a little bit to our conversation last week where we're sort of saying that sometimes he can fly under the radar with the progress that he's making, as so it can be a little bit critical on Tom at times.
Yeah, he You can be, and played every game. So just under the voting system, you play every game, you play your role in every game, you're going to get votes. If you play better than your role, have a good game, you're going to get more votes. So I think Daniel and Powell both played every game and did a pretty good job. Even though we can be critical because it wasn't at times good enough. You just consistently polling one or two from the 4 coaches or the 5 coaches, it gets you your 8, 9, 10 votes.
Oh, yeah. I think the coaches might be just forgetting what happens. Look at the stats. Daniel's had 30, put him in. Anyway,
to get 30, you've done pretty well. Let's not undersell getting 30 possessions. And he didn't have 30 turnovers every time he had possessions. So, yes, we wanted more from him. What do we grade him?
I think C, I did.
Yeah, I think I did a C. From memory, it was only last week.
It's a bit like when we rated him. We all remember the howlers from any player, but especially I think the new players always cop it a bit harder. But he's obviously doing a lot right in the 5 coaches. Or there's 5 coaches that vote, isn't it? So they must be thinking, he's doing his job mostly. Obviously, it could be better. And it is the 16th place team, so
that's right.
Being in the top 10 isn't the biggest thing ever, really.
No, it's not. I was going to mention that.
The gap between like Parker's on 167. Powell's on 158, so it's 5 positions by 9 votes. It's like a couple of 1s or 2s here and there. Suddenly you're top 5. I think Powell was top 5 last year. We talked about that.
He was
last year. They obviously rate what he's doing. We're critical of him. I gave me a pretty good review last week, but even then I didn't think he'd be that high. But
right, let's run through Jai Simpkin in 5th. He missed a couple of games, but shows some of the consistency, particularly late, that he found on the wing. Parker in 4th, Chief. I'll let you speak about him as a CCC member.
Yeah, well, it was really good, wasn't he? I mean, we rated him last week, and we all rated him pretty high in the Bs, and he did more than what we expected, I suppose. But wound the clock back a couple of years. He had a better year with us than he did with Sydney. He was in the Magoos at Sydney stuck there for a while, and also injured. So pretty good run with injury and pretty consistent in his role.
LDU in 3rd. Well, he's the perfect one for this voting system because he's electric games. He'd be polling really high votes, your 16, 18, 20 around there. So he finishes 3rd. And then the joint winners, as we mentioned off the top, Harry and Big X. And I saw a stat from the Swamp Man on X that the players to win multiple V or AFL best and fairest before turning 21, there's only 6, and the last person to do it was the great Lee Matthews. So what a start to Harry's career.
It's crazy, isn't it, really?
And it's pretty sad that, I think the general consensus around a lot of supporters is he had a down year, I'll say with air quotes, but he was still fantastic and wins our best and fairest, and we think he might have, had a bit of a down year compared to the incredibly high standard that he set. So it just speaks to how good he is.
I was so happy that X got the 20 because I thought, even Harry said, he wouldn't want to have won it by a vote or two. That was like the perfect ending. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was very nervous, but then very happy. And a tie was a good result, but it would have been horrific if X didn't win.
Yeah.
But the fact he tied was fair. Harry obviously played the 3 extra games, and we need all our good players out there. But tell you what, the North Lawyers would have copped more than they normally cop. Because missing 3 games, it would have been a tragedy if he didn't win.
Well, it's good they gave him the 20 in a loss, but even he said himself, thought because we lost, but lost by 2 goals, and he just dominated and
he was
smashing him into the ground. Yeah, the last 2 games. What did he have? 30 tackles between the 2 games.
Yeah, and last year, remember, I went off on this pod because against West Coast, where he had a massive game, and we were there at Boot Park watching it, and he got 19. One of the coaches robbed him of a point. Wasn't happy. I still haven't found out who that coach was, but Patch Adams, no longer at the club.
It might have been him.
Who knows?
Might have filtered back. Right, let's get into the serious stuff now. We're going to review players 31 to 47, the last part of our player reviews for the list. Start with number 31. Someone we really hope can get a good run at it and explode. Josh Goda. No rating from me. Horrid luck with injuries. I thought his small sample size in VFL, he started to get a bit of touch back. But the main thing with him is I just hope he gets a good run at it and can be that sort of 190 intercept and run sort of Bailey Dale mould player for us in years to come.
Yeah. He's 22 now, but he's only played 12 games, so just horrible run with injuries.
Sorry.
He was going all right over summer, but then, and he was well in front of CCJ, who both coming off similar injuries, but just ruined it. For expectations, I've got below because he didn't get back to play enough.
Well, that's not his fault.
Well, he's got to take some responsibility for it. It's still below. I expected him to get back, play the back half of the VFL, maybe push him for a game late. That didn't happen, so that was therefore it's below my expectations. I'm not here to point blame. It's just below what I expected for the year, and I haven't graded him because of that.
Yeah, that's fair enough, I think. We know recovering from the Achilles, but then had a hammy, then a quad, then played 3 VFL games, then a calf. So he's basically destroyed every muscle in his leg, and well, not his fault, but I think I read somewhere he's gone to a specialist overseas. So
Germany? No, it wasn't Germany. Where was it?
Yeah, somewhere in the Arab area,
everything
Middle East.
Was it Qatar? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was, and that's fantastic that he's actually taking that on himself. He's gone with someone from the club. They're going to learn how to train him better under some guru over there, and he's obviously going to have his very personalised training to get him fit. Just shows how keen he is. He's probably doing it off his own bat, I suppose, or I don't know, it comes out of the soft cap, I don't know, but the fact he's doing it shows he's professional.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly the same as like Sam Wright was foot with stuff, and he had to go during the ballet training for a while to get his feet, was he couldn't play, and that helped him. I think there was someone else.
I did, yeah, I've forgotten about that.
And back to Goda though, it's probably, to be fair, even though he's had injury concerns, probably his last roll of the dice next year. He got that 1 year extension early in the year, which we're happy about, but really there's only so many years you can carry injured potential players, yes, but in the end we need them on the park.
Yeah, and we've got 2. We've got him in the sausage.
The other one's a couple of spots away from being talked about, yeah.
Nobody's got a greater knowledge of stuff like that than the Frog.
That's why we bring him on. Brings his own laptop. Yeah. I'm sitting here with a piece of paper and a pen. Yeah. So that shows...
That's what Gerard Waitley does, though.
Yeah.
And Bruce has his big his spreadsheet or book or whatever he takes around with him, sorry.
Right, Chief, Toby Pink.
He's comparing himself to some big heavyweights.
Comparing you with your book.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Well, I like it then.
Waitley used to have his book on the thing, and Kingy would have the laptop.
Yeah, the HP.
Very good. Moving right along.
Toby Pink.
Right, am I going?
Well, if you were listening.
17 games, 194 centimetre type operator, 27 years old and total 32 games. I thought he looked really good in some games, notably against Curnow, the ex-Carlton player, soon to be. And on Lynch in the first game. In the second game he was terrible on Lynch, but the first game he was good. I think he was the best of our talls, and he's also the least experienced defenders at playing the assertive game style and still hustling back to put some pressure on when obviously the ball came out of the midfield too easily. So he got some good ground ball and aerial marking intercepts when it worked. The assertive press worked, and when it didn't, I've got it almost burned in my brain a few times. He's just come back and got a fist in, forced it out of bounds or put body on, and just, I can't really remember anyone else other than Chom doing that, but Chom seemed to give a free kick away every time he did it. He got a 1 year extension on the back of his little purple patch or pink patch of good form, and then his form fell away, which can be typical of people we sign up. Overall, I've waffled on here. He's gone past core and logue. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. He averaged 11 disposals for the year. For mine, he exceeded expectations. I thought he'd be battling with Cal Dawson and even Shotgun, trying to hold them out. Once he got in, he held them out. I graded him a C-.
Frog?
Yeah, I've looked at it a bit differently just because I knew it would all be similar. So he started played round 2 and 3, then it was dropped, so that's not a great sign. Then returned round 9 versus the Lions for the Hobart game, I think. And that's because Cal Dawson and Archer were out. Because Cal was dropped and Archer was out. So it just makes you think, if that doesn't happen, if Cal Dawson stays in, has good, like, is Pink even re-signed? There's a lot of little things like that happen at clubs. Anyway, exactly. And then he obviously played pretty well and held his spot for the remainder of the year. And for mine, he exceeded expectations Played with belief, I think. He was pretty good one, and once he got a bit of confidence, I thought he was good one-on-one, spoiling, bodywork, etc., and taking the mark when possible. So I've actually given him a B-.
I like it. I've graded him a C. I thought, as you mentioned before, I had written down the jobs that he'd done on Curnow and Lynch. But the thing I love about Toby is he plays undersized a lot of the time, tries his guts out. He's not going to be, a long-term fullback for us, but we're going to get with him week in, week out. He's going to give his all. So I graded him a C. I thought he was pretty solid this year. I'll go next for Braden George, my man. The first man that was donned my man on this pod. He showed signs in the VFL coming off an ACL, hoping he can be what we all think he can. Obviously, it's burned into a lot of supporters' mind that Brett Ratton, when he was the caretaker, when Clarko went off, said that he could be the best out of the draft group that involved George and Harry. So that's pretty high praise from Rats. I'm interested to see what role he plays next year. There's obviously a bit of talk about a high half forward. We've mentioned before on the wing, potentially if he can build his tank. He's got a huge penetrating kick. He's a good mark. I'll back him in one-on-one. He's a strong sort of Cam Zerha model player, but really looking forward to what he can bring. What are your thoughts?
Yep, yeah, built nicely from his ACL, I thought. He played 11 games in the VFL with a few glimpses of his potential. Unfortunately, finished the year with a shoulder injury. So for mine, he's a bit like Goat. He needs to make an impression next year. That'll be into his fourth season. Obviously, he hasn't got on the park, but he's starting to get to that stage where he's going to have to get some form and force his way into the seniors, I think, for a few games.
Yeah, you guys have covered it really well. I'd just like to add that I love his kicking. It's bullet-like, it's long, it can get over that zone, get it out the back. And also in his VFL form, a few games I watched when he was playing, he's got pretty good goal sense when he's just as playing as his natural habitat up forward. So, but I agree, he's got to make good big pre-season for him, clean bill of health, and we'll see what he does next year.
Because the forward line is going to be hot for spots, and sort of his role is similar to like a Zerha and PC, so he's not getting in front of them, so I'd love to see a bit of experimentation in terms of position with him, but none of us have rated him because we didn't get to see him at AFL level, but really hoping he can have a massive year. Chief, your man, Jackson Archer.
Another member of the CCC. Well, only got 3 games. He was stitched up by the first failure of the North Lawyers when they said he was going into tackle. They said he was going into contest the ball. Might have been a different outcome. We won't go into that. He's played a total of 26 games for his career, but he's still only 22.
Wow, that sort of sneaks up on you, doesn't it?
Because we love him, and when he plays, he impacts. Because he has a fair dinkum crack every contest. He's only 22 years old. He's an absolute competitor. He averaged 8 disposals. He only played 3 games and he got injured. When was that? Second quarter? Can't remember. Against the Bull. Didn't he go off and not come back on? Or did he
he played the game out.
Did he?
He got injured when he was suspended training.
Yeah, and then he came back and did a hammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So expectations for me were a small sample size, but it met. I mean, he charged every contest, hated losing. I graded him a C for courageous.
I gave him a C as well, just because you can't really go harsh on him, and just the 3 games and 3 VFL games, but just like a few others, he needs to get his body right. These soft tissues it can be a bit of a curse if they keep happening to him. A bit unlucky. Obviously, trains really hard, but now it's about looking after the body the other way, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm very similar. I gave him a C. Obviously, the injuries and that suspension in round 1 derailed his season. I think we felt his absence, and he's an underrated cog in our back line. The question I want to put to the table is, question without notice, of course, is he a lock in your best 22s? He is for mine, but I'm just interested in your thoughts.
Yeah, he is at the moment.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hard. Well, finally, it's going to be hard to get in the back line. He needs to be 10 centimetres taller. Then he'd be our best backman, wouldn't he? If he was 197. But yeah, the medium backs, we've got some competition for those spots.
Next up, Matt Whitlock. I'll run through this one quickly. I gave him a C-. I thought he showed signs. 1 game in defence, 1 game in the forward line. Promising development year, and I've just written here, time to hit the weights. Get in there, son. PC and those others. Like, no one expected him to light it up in year one. And I really feel for Matt with all the expectations that comes with trading. It wasn't his decision to trade the future first, was it? So I think he'll be a good long-term prospect. Showed really good footy IQ in the VFL at times as an interceptor and can play on both talls and smalls. He's very agile for his height, so promising. But just off what I saw, just a C- for Matt.
Yeah, I actually gave the same, and basically you summed up basically everything, even right up to hit the gym lad. Like that's about yeah. And the other thing, he has got that 1 year of what it takes to be an AFL player, and this year he gets to do a full pre-season instead of the modified one the rookies do. So yeah, he definitely shows a bit.
Yeah, I'd pair him up with Will Dawson. He put on about 16 kegs.
Yep.
In his first off season. So get Matty lined up with a big shotgun.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys said. I really liked from the pre-season, the bit in the VFL I saw, his ground ball below his knees. I thought he was really good. And he was a good kick. Like for a tall key, he could take the 45 and hit it. Average, just going on his AFL, he only averaged 6 disposals. Expectations for me met. It was just a development league, got a little bit of a taste. I graded him a D+. Because I basically grade off the AFL and off the whole, as if he was playing for any other team in the AFL, not just our beloved Kangaroos. I think he'd just rate him a D+, but that's just how I do it. And can he play the wing? He played the wing. I don't want to build this up too much, but going back to Spargo, there's talks of him playing the wing at 173, whereas the AFL wide, they're going taller wings. Yeah. So I'm wondering, obviously this is a couple of years down the track, he'd have to build his tank, but we're talking about Sausage maybe playing the wing, George, 187. Could they explore that? I know he did a couple of games in his under 18 year, and under 18 is miles off AFL, but just a thought.
I like it. I haven't thought of that. That's very outside the box. Probably you might take Lee Adams' role.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Outside the box thinking.
We'll roll through the next. River Stevens. I've just put here hard to comment. I didn't watch enough VFL to give proper analysis on that. So you two watch a lot more VFL than I do. Any thoughts to add to River?
He's obviously didn't play a game. He's only 19. He's 177 centimetres, so one of the plethora of small forwards we got. He showed some glimpses, had some good finishing, some good goal sense, but he also had some really quiet games, and I suppose that's part of that role. When the VFL were pretty competitive, I mean, we were in the finals, which is the top 10 for a lot of the year. We're actually in the top 6, I think, for a reasonable chunk. So we had some good form in the VFL at times. But yeah, I'm not sold on him. Expectations for me met. I didn't expect him to play an AFL game, and he didn't. And he wasn't graded. So it's another one, a big pre-season. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and he's going to have to make some fairly big steps because, as we've discussed, we've got a lot of small forwards on the list.
Yeah, same. I won't say it's just basically covered it all there perfectly.
Roll into Cooper Harvey for us then.
Right, strong VFL form led to the 3 games as an emergency, knocking the door down. Then finally got a call up in round 17. He played 7 games for 10 goals, missing 1 due to an illness. I think he was a late out. And for me, he's a good ball user when used off halfback, as well as his goal kicking ability, obviously. But like many, will need to improve again and work on his defensive awareness, pressure, concentration, and tackling. It's just all that is a very important part of. That's probably what might be holding him back from getting in the first place. But he shows a bit, but it's still going to be, going in a couple of years' time, he may not be there. But I've given him a C-.
Yeah, I have as well. I think as the position dictates, some inconsistencies. Obviously against Melbourne, kicked 4 goals, and then he had obviously the game against Richmond where I think he had 1 touch and everyone else was flying. The question is, out of contract, keep on the list for next year. I'm a yes.
I'm a yes.
Oh, I've got yes at this stage. Depends what other players get before they have to do the final cuts, I suppose. But
yeah, obviously, as we're talking now,
it's really hard to do we're getting Spargo already. Now we're 1 over the list already because we cut 4, got us back to 42. Now we're back to 43.
Yeah.
Even though he's not officially with us.
Oh, there'll be more cuts.
Yeah,
to
there'll be
come,
more
you'd
cuts
imagine.
afterwards, but yeah.
Yeah, he's right on the knife's edge, but I'd just say he showed enough, mainly with his goal kicking.
Yep.
For me, he only averaged 9 disposals in his AFL games, but he averaged, he kicked 10-5, which is an average of 1.4 a game, which is much better than our other small forwards. For me, expectations, well, he exceeded them because I was surprised we kept him on the list this time last year, and he got himself into the AFL and he did okay. I didn't mind him off half back. I can't remember who the game was. We moved him late in the game to half back, and he took that corridor kick time after time. And we've whinged about other players who have gone short and wide, whereas he took the aggressive on, and he could intercept the ball as a half back. And I graded him same as you guys, C-.
Fantastic. You may as well keep going. I won't give it away. You go with your X-Men.
Number 38, the reigning Syd Barker and Basti medalist. He played 20 games, 202 centimetre beast. He's got a career total of 76 games and he's 26 years old. Another great year. He dominated around the stoppages. He leads by example. He's a heart and soul player. Was clearly the number 1 ruckman in the comp for me. He's rated inside the top 10. I haven't got the exact stat, but we've talked about it during the year for all players in the competition, in whatever stat that is. I'm not really
Champion
a stats
data
man,
would be.
but I will bring one out for the big X. Champion data, okay, thanks. Suspension, I think, cost him the AA jacket. I've seen lots, and you would remember too, Fredo, lots of players have made the All-Australian team missing a lot more than 3 games. And we clearly missed him when he was out. It was such a hole. Everything dropped. Our clearances, our contests, our tackles. I've written here, because I did this rating before, that he should take home the Sid. Well, he has, along with Harry. So well done. Averaged 17 disposals, 35 hit-outs, 10 to advantage, 7 clearances, which is just elite, 7 tackles, which is probably elite. I didn't find whether it was or not. Expectations for me, he exceeded them. I was a bit worried about, was it a one-off? And he just dropped back a little bit, but nah, he kept going at the same level, which was fantastic. And I graded him an A.
Before we move on, I've just had a look here. So Bontempelli played 18 games. He was an All-Australian. Sam Taylor played 19, and there was about 3 players who missed 3 with 20 as well. So
yeah, and I go back to McLeod, who was a fantastic player, but made the All-Australian. I think he missed at least 6. That may have been even 8 back in the mid to late 90s.
Right.
Was it just Gawn that made the team?
Yeah.
It was Grundy and
Grundy didn't
whoever
make it.
the other one were just in the 40. Wasn't there another ruck that was in the 40?
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was
Jackson.
Jackson from Freo.
Oh, yeah.
I've given Big X an A. I won't go too much into too much detail, as you've summed it up pretty well, but another fantastic year. Backed up his breakout season, contested and clearance beast, leads by example, smashes blokes, and is rarely beaten. It was funny that he mentioned in his speech that the one poor game he had earlier in the year against Carlton, he mentioned it, and then texted Goldie for advice when he came back up against would have been TDK, and we saw teams bring in a second ruck to try and negate him. He soldiered through when he was clearly injured at the start of the year as well. Loved that from him. I think he's the tone setter for this side, and needs to be in the leadership group in 2026.
Can I just say, it was Pitnet who beat him, not TDK. So he did come back up against Carlton, but it was...
It was TDK that beat him on Good Friday.
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah, he bumped him out once, but it wasn't like a hiding. He just, for X, it'd be, you probably shaded
Stand
him.
corrected.
Yeah. They brought in Pitnet to combat him in round 15, 16.
But the commentators were glossing a fair bit over TDK, I think. It was a bit,
he played 4 good games and was going to be All-Australian lock. That's what happens when you play for a big club and if they're flying.
I've got a bit on him, seeing I've given him an A as well, and that's only my second one I've given, so they deserve to get their dues with their similar, but I've got just a brood in the ruck, tackles hard to hurt, and I think improved his ruck craft over previous year, a bit more finesse, I guess. And also, I think his ground ball work is pretty underrated. He's pretty much a one grab off the deck. He occasionally fumbles, but then you can't really pull him down if he does get it. He's pretty good at dishing the handballs out if he hasn't got the kick option. Always 100% effort, of course. Shafted in the AA, absolute joke. Only improvement I'd have would be some more marking. I think everyone would agree with that.
Yep.
And maybe this isn't on him, this is a coaching, and more times forward, I think, if we can get the second ruck to be effective enough, because I think he's an excellent shot at goal.
He is.
And if he could get a bit like Goldie was, and he wasn't always an excellent shot, but he was an okay target for it. I think X could be like that. He'd get a bit more one-on-one too, or just bust the pack to pieces.
Something on X that I just want to talk about as well.
Gold or someone, if we get someone else to come and play some minutes and not just have X on the bench, but also maybe X and sneak forward for even 2 or 3 minutes. Be worth a shot, I think.
I like it. And he's an underrated field kick as well. I feel safer with him taking those inboard corridor kicks than half our side, I reckon. Even when he goes on the left sometimes, you're thinking, what's going on here? And then he drills it and hits the target. So, underrated ball.
Most of the opposition don't want to know about him. Like, they're just frightened of him, you can tell.
Yeah.
They change a bit like different stature, but a lot of the mids used to shirk a bit when Jed Anderson was ready to line him up, but obviously X is a completely lot bigger guy.
Yeah.
But it definitely changes the way people play in that area.
And in today's football, where you can't really breathe on someone without getting suspended, he does it really well. I like the fact that he said in one of his wasn't he Sid speak? What was the other one?
The shin boner of the year.
Yeah,
Glenn Archer shin boner of the year.
I'm paraphrasing. It was basically what he said last year, that the coaches let me hurt people. Yeah. And I just love it.
Well, he's mastered the craft of accidentally looking like he's fallen over clumsy just to drill his body weight into midfielders and fall on top of them. So.
Yeah.
But it's perfectly legal the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
Because the head's protected, and that's the main thing, but he's making their ribs and hips and everything else earn it, and that's that's what you want.
Slows them down for the second half.
Unfortunately, we just let him waltz through too often. But let's move on to Finbar. I've rated him a D. I thought he showed some good signs. He's a raw prospect, great leap and mark, but I think a lot of questions still remain over his footy IQ and impact. It was interesting to note during the week that Sam Edmund reported that Sydney are interested in Finbar. There's a lot of confusion.
Gordon for Finbar?
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion around a lot of the contracts and where they sit because triggers have been hit and there's not a lot that's come out from the club, but it was reported earlier in the year by Charlie Comben on his podcast that Big Finbar had got a 1-year deal, but obviously it was still nothing official, so it'd be interesting to see what goes on there. And I'll also say that Sam Edmund's hit rate isn't great either, so...
you think if that was genuine, he would have signed it by now, being that he's been pretty much a fringy player for the year, so... Just might be on the watch list for like the.
I think he can join Cooper Harvey on the knife's edge.
Yes, you go for it. Eh?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be at his first game, and that was probably one of the highlights of the year for me, especially live, taking a big contested mark in the pocket, right 30 metres away, and wheeling around for someone that can't kick and kicks the snap. I thought, what have we got here? Yeah. And plus, I love the way he tacked the ball, but in the end, he wasn't impacting games enough. I was pretty big on him early on, but unfortunately got subbed a couple of times. I think he's played 7 games for 4 goals isn't really enough. His kicking is obviously pretty ordinary, and the games were over 3 different blocks, so he's in and out of the team a few times. In his emergency 7 times. So the coaching staff are liking a lot of what he does, but needs obviously work in his kicking and a lot of AFL game sense and body positioning and that sort of thing. So there's a bit to work with, but I'm not sure beyond if he gets one next year. Probably should just as a backup even. But another thing, when he's getting it out in the middle of the ground, where are the handball receivers? Like, think of Mason Cox over the years. He takes the mark, someone's going past for the handball. He's just standing there thinking, what's he going to do? The rest of the team needs to be, flick past for the handball. He can't always do it, but didn't happen enough for mine. Get the ball moving,
Yep. They've covered it pretty well.
D+.
7 games, 197 centimetre, still only 22 years old. His game is built around contested marking, which is fantastic. But the opposition are aware of that, and they put early body work into him, so he can't get the run and jump, and he hasn't really got any other weapon. Maybe the Mo is the only weapon he's got. His ground ball and goal kicking needs a lot of work. So I don't think you can play him anywhere other than the forward line or relief ruck because he's just not up to the speed and the skill level of the ground ball to AFL level. He only averaged 7 disposals for his AFL games, kicked 4 goals, 3. His goal accuracy was listed at 44%, which is below average. And he's not getting a lot of looks, so he's got to get that right up. His tackles were rated above average. For me, expectations, he met them. He got a few games. I mean, we also loved his VFL form, so we wanted to get him in, have a look at him at AFL level. And I grade him a C-.
I like it. I'll roll on next to one of my men who's sadly departed the footy club, and that's Eddie Ford. I'm still incredibly disappointed he didn't get an opportunity this year. He had X factor, but some murmurings out of the club is he might not have been up to the level in terms of professionalism. But I still think when we went through that horror patch and we got belted for about 6 or 7 weeks, he should have been given an opportunity off half-back in favour of others. So that's very frustrating, but I hope he gets picked up by another side. I'm not sure he will, but he'll always hold a special place in the podcast hearts, Elvis, and favourite memories when he was flipping the crowd against the D's.
Yeah, number 40, got to 40 games, 23 years old. I think he'll be the only one we've cut who's half a chance of getting picked up by someone else, even if it's in the mid-season draft next year, if he puts some form in for whatever VFL club he might play for. They can pick him up for free as a delisted free agent, so it costs nothing in draft capital. He was not given an opportunity. You've covered that. Expectations below, because I expect him to play some AFL games, even though we've got a lot of his type. They tried him obviously off half-back in the VFL. I saw him there. It's obviously a lower league, but he looked composed with the ball in hand. When he got it at half-back, he could intercept mark. And I didn't grade him because he obviously didn't play.
Yeah, pretty similar. You've covered all that. I'll just add, I think he had 4 different soft tissue or similar injuries due through the year, which probably didn't help him get a run, but he should have got a game, I think, at some stage. But yeah, sort of sad to see him go.
Right, you kick us off with
JK.
The interesting JK.
Right. He's played every game, so the coaches obviously like what they're seeing, and I think in the top 10 last night, after 6 rounds, he was in the top 10 ahead of LDU, Combin, Zerha and Powell. So early form was obviously quite good. It did drop away a bit though, unfortunately. But positives, he tackles very hard, chases relentlessly, often into the back line. You see him still chasing his player or trying to get to fill up a hole. Offensively, I think he does get in the right positions a bit, but unfortunately his finishing skills just aren't there. 11 goals, 13, and that's not counting some probably other ones that missed, but he did have 16 goal assists, which isn't too bad. If he could turn that offensive part of his game around, I think we've found a player. But at the moment, that hasn't happened, and he was only subbed off once. So the coaches obviously like him. No, the fans aren't big fans. I actually don't mind him. I gave him a C+.
I like it. I think, I agree with a lot of what you said. I've written here, pressure tick. His defensive work on half-backs, tick. We've seen him shut out a few of those.
Dale and I can't remember the other
Lockie
guy.
Ash.
Yeah, that's it.
But his kicking, at times, and particularly goal kicking, big cross. How do you grade him is the big question. His pressure's immense. And I think if he can add better finishing in front of goal, he can be a lock as our pressure small forward. And I'm still adamant, I'm going to die on this hill, that I think he is a better prospect than Charlie Spargo. And hoping that he gets first look at it next year.
That'll be the big question because obviously they recruited Spargo, and we keep going back to him because they want improvement in this role. And he had it for 23 games this year. He's still only 20, so he's still quite young. I agree with what you guys said about his tackling and his pressure, but his field kicking and his finishing in front of goal really let him down. Like, he missed some puts, both trying to hit targets, lead up targets, or trying to finish with the 6 points. And that's just frustrating. I mean, I think this is going to sound harsh, but he had the ball in his hand with, 20 seconds to go against Brisbane. It was ours to win. We don't need a point. It was ours to win. And he didn't use Stevens on the outside, who's a much better kick, or hit the target when he did kick it, turned it over. That cost us, 2 points. Would have been a huge win. He averaged 9 disposals, tackles 3, which is above average for expectations. He exceeded mine because he played all 23 games. I wouldn't have expected that. I would expect him to get a look in like other people have spoken about, but played 23 was good. I agree with what Fredo said, and obviously the coaches with the Sid. He started off pretty well, like his early season form, but it did taper off, and that's when I think he should have been replaced with someone. I gave him a C minus.
I'm not sure I said my grade, so I gave C. So we've had a wide range, C plus, C and a C minus. So take of that as you will. Now, we're going to continue our player numbers. So number 41, your favourite number 41, I'll go first. Mine's probably Aaron Fishy Mullet. We saw some long bomb goals from him and was a bit of a mainstay during the mid-2010s. Ultimately ended up going to Carlton and not playing much there, but he always had the socks up, run and carry, booming left foot, and was some good memories watching Fishy.
Yeah, he's good.
What about you guys?
I've got number 41, Adrian McAdam, who came in 1993 when the team was coming to rise, and he didn't debut till round 5, right? I'll just go through a couple of his stats. This is from his debut. Round 5 versus Richmond, 7 goals, 2. Most goals by a North Melbourne player on debut. Next week, just a lazy 10 goals, 6. Then 6 goals, 3. So he had 23 goals in 3 games. That's an AFL record. Then 3-2, tapered off a bit. 3 goals, 2, 3 goals, 3.
Dropping.
And then the big game where I think North really knew he'd arrived, he kicked 9 goals, 2 versus Collingwood at Vic Park. And I don't know if you remember, Fredo.
Yep.
You would. But this is the most exciting period ever in my supporting North, because we just came on with a boom. He was recruited out of Northern Territory. Didn't play until round 5, so I don't know what his VFL form was, but obviously good enough for Dennis to pick him because the whole team was coming on. He was 183 centimetres, and it's not as if we're looking for him all the time. We had Carey there dominating and John Longmire. And it just, the flood, it was a tsunami of North just coming on, and the whole footy world waking up thinking, who are these young guns? It was fantastic. So for the year, because we obviously played finals that year, he played 17 games and kicked 68 goals, 43. So he found plenty of the pill and had plenty of shots. Unfortunately, 94 played 22 games for 21 goals, 18, and then 95 played 1 game for 2 goals, 1. So it was a meteor. He just came on bright and then just burned out, and he ended up going to Collingwood for a year but didn't play for them. And there's a story that came out because when the media finally got hold of things, and he was at training, and they had all the balls come out in a big wheelie bin, and McAdam would just pick him up from 30, 40 metres and just drop him in. A bit like Steph Curry for the basketball fans, just dropping him in from mid-court. He'd just drop him in the wheelie bin. And Pagan talked about that, and Pagan hated Media Street or pumping anyone up, but he actually pumped him up with that. So it was just the most exciting time to be a North supporter. We'd had, from the most of the 80s, we'd been a middling team, and then we just came on bang. And it had been building because we had Johnny Longmire, we had Carey, we had Schwartz, and then this bloke just came from nowhere and took the whole comp by storm.
Yeah, and it was the same year they got Blakey and Laidley over, wasn't it?
Yes.
So it was a bit of a... They were both very professional players.
Yeah.
Their fitness, and especially Johnny Blakey. So yeah, it was an insane time. You're thinking, we've come from nowhere. I think we were 7-1 and the top of the ladder. How's this even happening?
Yeah.
Then, like you said, played Collingwood, and we never won, or rarely won at Victoria Park. We absolutely smashed them. It's unbelievable. Yeah, you basically covered it perfectly. Yeah, didn't even look at any other number 41s.
No,
to be honest. It was just like,
I don't think we'll ever see it.
That debut. Being in Tassie, we used to get Friday night games
Yep.
on delay, and only the second half. If you waited for so you turn it on at half time, or you'd have to listen to the radio. You turn it on, you'd already kicked 5, I think, or something.
Yeah.
I can't actually remember, but I thought, what are we watching here? It's just, it's insane.
And you think we'll get to Cooper Trimbath, how he started 3-3-3. All the stats I just rang out, it was like, it's unbelievable. I don't think we'll ever see it again.
No.
Like a run like that.
No, we won't. All right, let's keep rolling with our current number 42, Cal Dawson. I graded him a D. Played a few games, couldn't cement his spot. Now he's been delisted. I think the problem with Cow is he wasn't quite a key back in terms of his physicality, and he wasn't a good enough kick to be a halfback, a sort of run and carry player. So he exits the club, and another sort of mid-season draftee that didn't quite come on like we may have hoped.
No, he only played 19 games. You've seen he's around for 3 or 4 years, and we need that key back post. But you summed it up beautifully. He was more a running back than a key back. He wasn't good at one-on-ones. He averaged 8 disposals, 2 tackles, which is above average. And for me, expectations below, because I had him probably fighting with Pink for that role, and Pink, obviously, we've rated him. He grabbed it and did pretty well with it. I graded him a D.
Yeah, the same. You covered it all. I gave him a D as well. It's all been covered.
Right, favourite number 42, Frog, you may as well kick us off.
I've gone with Scotty McMahon. Started as a smallish medium forward, I'm pretty sure. Very neat kick on him, and turned into a very reliable defender. And as I said, a great ball user. Good to watch, I thought.
Yeah, I had him as well. Great memories. There's a picture in your rumpus room, Chief, of me and my sister running out with the boys, and next to Scotty McMahon. We used to call him Vince, as we're WWE fans, Vince McMahon. But yeah, just an honest sort of player, gave his all, and probably overachieved. Was he a rookie selection from memory as well?
Oh, he might have been, yeah.
And,
I can't actually remember.
We had a backline full of them with Scotty Thompson and was Mick Frito.
Yeah, Frito was one. He was one of the few that got to like 200 odd games as a rookie pick, I think.
Did you have him as well, Chase?
I had him as well. You guys have covered him. Yeah. Love looking at that photo when I walk out to the garage. It's there in my rumpus room.
Yeah. Right, we'll keep rolling along with our current number 43, Bryn Teakle. So I gave him a D. He got monstered by Grundy, which was really frustrating. He was largely uncompetitive. As someone who plays a lot of ruck, I think he only had about 6 hit-outs for the game. Though, on a positive note, I thought when he was in the ones, he found space and was a good outlet kick. He's a pretty good user for a ruckman, but another one who's now been delisted and was a bit of a stopgap mid-season draft selection.
Yeah, I'll let Fredo go.
Yeah, well, just the 4 games when X was out for 3, then I think Curtis went out with his for 1, so then Teakle held his spot, but yeah, he's just not up to it at the level. Did his role for 18 months, but he's just not longer required, I don't think, unfortunately.
No surprise. We all tipped him to be delisted. He just can't play forward. He's not mobile enough. Like, he can clunk one a game. Well, that's not good enough as a forward. You got a bit like Finbar. You got to offer something at ground level as well. And at 203 centimetres, he's actually got a big X covered in the height, and not in the weight or in the gym, but he's got him for height, and it just wasn't quite good enough. He averaged 10 disposals, 16 hit-outs, which is below average, and bearing in mind that for 3 of his games he was the number 1 ruckman, because X was out and CCJ got injured very early. 5 hit-outs to advantage, which is below average. Expectations for me, well, he met them. He told away in the VFL. I didn't expect him to play any games really, unless someone got break glass if X gets injured. Well, he got suspended. Thank you again to the North Lawyers. And I graded him a D.
Right, favourite 43, Chief, kick us off.
It's a toss-up between Hall and Gibson. I will go Aaron Hall with a bit of Tassie favouritism. Now, I haven't looked up his stats, so I have been too busy. But he finished 3rd in the Syd one year, so had a couple of good years with us. Came from, obviously, Gold Coast Football Club, and he still holds a record, as far as I'm aware, for the most metres gained in a AFL match, which is over 1,000. I haven't got the stat in front of me, apologies, but he holds the record. He's held that for a while now. And he was great at the 1-2, wasn't he? He loved the kick out and then run past.
He's number 2 at the club for loving the 1-2s the most, I reckon, behind Boom.
Behind Boomer. Yeah, Boomer was a bit more effective with the ball in hand, wasn't he? But picked him up for nothing, so he was a good hit.
I think he was great. I've got him as well, Aaron Hall. Thought he copped too much heat from supporters because he was one of the few players in our back line during that time under Noble that would actually try and take the kicks on. The game plan seemed to be, Josh Walker sort of operators kicking it long down the line.
So
but
frustrating.
Hall would take it on. He'd take those kicks. There's that memory of a game, I think it was against West Coast, where he kicked it out into the centre square to Tarrant, who nearly got poleaxed, but marked it, took a bounce and kicked it. I think we kicked a goal in about 9 seconds.
Yes.
So he was the kick-out king. He was great for the fantasy and Supercoach owners. Had a lot of the footy, but I thought he was a great sort of selection there. Didn't cost us anything and was more than serviceable, obviously finishing top 3 in the best and fairest.
Yeah, you're spot on about he's the only one taking it on out of the back line, which was his role, and he did it pretty well.
I've gone with Sam Gibson. Played 2012 to 17, 130 games for North, and they were all consecutive, so he never got dropped, which is quite phenomenal, really. Then he did finish off at Ports. He was delisted, even though he wasn't dropped, I suppose. But anyway, he was a really good runner. His kicking was a bit off, but a lot of it was he did run himself into the ground, and he did cover defensively as a mid or a winger for the other mids, pushing back really hard. And he was a good outlet kick late in games. Everyone was cooked, and he'd do a just massive sprint into the pocket for the whoever's kicking out to be an option for them. So I thought, that's a pretty good career, 130 games coming in as a mature age at, 25 or something, or whatever he was. So, yeah. He's probably harshly dealt with by supporters. But, they all do turnovers at times, don't they?
Yeah, they're not. You're not going to have a team full of A-graders.
Especially when you're running that hard.
Yeah. So, no, that's a good shout. It was a split decision on mine between him and Hall. So I'm glad you got him.
Right, we'll continue with our ratings for our current players. Number 44, my man Cam Zerha. I've graded him a B+. I thought he was fantastic this year. Took the next step. Very consistent. I don't have the stats. Did he kick 38 goals, I think?
38.
From memory. So, really stood up when Larky went down. But the thing that I enjoyed most about Cam is he played through a lot of injuries. Obviously, that foot injury where he wore Matt Whitlock's boots and kicked 4 when I was there at the G. Lifted. He loves playing Richmond, Cam. Absolutely loves playing Richmond. But even games, the Freo game at Optus stands out where he got poleaxed and his ribs were smashed and he just continued to go to contest and put his head over it. I thought, fantastic year for him. Probably didn't play the midfield minutes that I would have hoped for, but 38 goals in a side that finished 16th. I'm really looking forward to when we're a better side and get better inside 50s because his one-on-one works sensational, and it's quite easy after signing a 4 or 5 year deal to sort of just be average and not improve, but he improved this year, and I think it was his most consistent year at the North Melbourne Footy Club, so I graded him a B+.
Yeah, I agree. I've got his best season. He benefited from, obviously, Darling being there, so he got the third tall defender. He's a key cog in our forward line. He played 22 games this year for a total of 143. 4 marks, which is above average. 38-24 he kicked, so probably left a couple out there. But that's an average of 1.7 a game, which rates as elite for his position. Expectations, I exceeded mine because he improved. So, and I graded him, same as you, a B+.
Before we get to the Frog, I forgot to mention that third quarter against Melbourne where they couldn't stop him. They kicked 3-2 or something in about 5 minutes. That was unreal.
Yep.
How did you find his season?
Oh, yeah, good. He improved as well, I thought. It was, a bit of a slow start, I think, other than that. He had a 4-goal game against Melbourne, probably, was it? Second game. And then the other ones, he was a little bit flat, but after that, I think he was really good. Some great marking, again, contestant, but also on the lead, which I really like it when he does that. Could be a team thing or not, but I reckon he's really good when he pushes right up to the wings or even half back line as an option, because he is good at burning people one-on-one and when he wants to work hard, and I think he does. As the high option, but also he's obviously great inside 50. What else? Just to get to another level, I've given him a B+. If he can do it, if he can find a bit more of the ball by outworking his opponent, try and get fitter again, go to another level, a bit like PC has done and probably needs to again, go to another level and make these guys almost unbeatable, if you know what I mean. And get into the mid-40s of goals, depending on what the other spread with the other players are. But I think that's he's pushing 40 now. That's pretty good. So B+.
Happy days. And I think we all had him as our favourite number 44 across the journey as well.
Yeah, so we'll cover
that one. Yeah,
cover that.
Next up, right, so obviously there's a position free in Baz's Swaggerman with Eddie Ford, and I've nominated Zach Banch will be joining Banger Banch. Braden George also will join, but you're not eligible till you play seniors. But Zach Banch has come in. I just love the way he goes about it. Little tip rat sort of operator. Really enjoyed his game, I mentioned last pod, I think, against Adelaide, where he worked up, got the ball. He's tough, he's gritty. And I reckon we'll see a little bit more flair from him, sort of Tommy Papley style, as he makes his way through AFL. He had a contract, but the talk is that he's been offered a 1-year deal. I hope that's true, because it could be the quickest turnaround ever if he gets delisted.
He might be like Elvis. If you have half your club delisted.
No, I'm backing in Banger.
4 games. Well, no one can say you haven't. You've waited too long.
I love him.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely love him. I think he's going to be what we need. I've graded him a C off what I saw from him this season. I thought that mark against the Dogs, I think it was.
No, Saints.
The Saints. Should be mark of the year.
Yeah.
Brave, tough. Everyone at the club seems to think he's 205 centimetres because we just kicked it out to him all the time, 1-on-1 with Tom Stewart or whoever else. And I thought he competed well, like against those sorts. Didn't get outmarked too often, but for the love of God.
To be fair, he did, but that's because he's 173.
But I don't think there was times where he competed
Against
really
Geelong,
well.
he did.
Well, against Geelong, against Stewart. I mean, everyone's going to get outmarked by him. But other times when we did it, I thought he competed well. And, I'm a big fan of what he could potentially be with a full AFL pre-season under his belt.
Yeah, that's covered really well. And you got to look at it as not on the list to playing 4 games. Yeah, it's a poor team, but he earned those games, and I think he did really well, and he would have probably played 6, but he hurt his ribs and missed a couple, then came back for the last game. Pretty gutsy. He still have to have been sore. I like the way that he plays with confidence. Like he looks, I can have a run. A lot of them get it and panic. Oh, I'll just kick it because it's AFL. Like it's pretty hot in the kitchen out there, isn't it? So he's tackling the ball and going for a run and plays with confidence. Yeah, I gave him a C as well.
Yeah, I'd have him above the next man we're about to rate and a few others as well.
I was just
in the pecking order.
I agree with what you guys said. I watched a fair bit of the VFL. He showed good form there, so they brought him in. He averaged 7 disposals, 1 tackle. Expectations, he exceeded mine.
It was also the sub just for those stats.
Yes. So that obviously takes it off. Yeah. He exceeded mine. I grade him slightly lower, a C-.
Fair enough. Robbie Hanson Jr., I'll roll through him. I graded him a D. He had opportunity. Looked good at times, but just couldn't grasp the opportunity. And another one, we've mentioned this a lot on this pod, and I'm going to say it again, it's baffling that we decided to sign him up when we did. I think if we had our time again, he'd probably get delisted. He'd be on that sort of Cooper Harvey knife's edge, and I just don't think he's a great kick, and he doesn't have enough pressure to play as a small forward, and I'm not sure he gets enough of it or is strong in the contest to play as that sort of winger. Be interesting to see where he lines up in 26, but I gave him a D.
Yeah, I'll go. Well, he's played 12 games, but over 3 different blocks, so another one of those ones in and out of the team. And he's also, out of those 12 games, he started as a sub 6 times, so I guess he was their preferred sub, which is a pretty ordinary position to be, really. But he did okay a few times. Like you said, some good ball skills, and he was probably at his best earlier in the year, and hence Brady, a contract young fella.
Yeah.
But nice skills, but just doesn't impact the game for long enough. He have a good quarter here and there, but I've given him a D+, but they definitely jumped the gun early on the contract to that. He should be fighting with the others for that one of those spots, but he's got one more year to prove himself that he belongs.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a battle for him, though.
You guys have covered it. I've just summary: good wheels and skills, but lacks physicality. Drifts in and out of games. Needs to find a lot more of the ball. Averaged 9 disposals. You've mentioned he was a sub, so there's an asterisk next to that. 3 goals, 1 for the year. Tackles averages 1, which is below average, and he gets higher up the ground. So he should be more involved because he does play higher up the ground. He gets that wing role occasionally. For me, I've got he met expectations. I suppose 12 games gets him that. He was sort of, I can't remember if I had him in my best 23 at the start of the year. I don't think I did.
I don't reckon.
And I gave him some year for a D+.
Right.
And he's also emergency 6 times, so the coaches obviously like him. Emergency doesn't always mean you next to the very next best in, but
I think it's his skill. His kicking skill's good. They want him high up the ground so he can deliver it inside the forward line, so we don't have to rely on Harry or Colby to be that player. We need lots of players with that ability. I think he's got it compared to players he's up against, which is probably why they said we'll give you another pre-season, another year.
Yeah, but skills are, obviously pressure's very important, but skills is a bit like back to Cooper. I know we've talked about him off the back line with his skills. Puts him ahead of those as well, but his better skills, not as good defensively. So it's the same argument for Hansen.
And the AFL is it's skill based. I mean, you've got to be tough to get it, but when you've got it, you've got to be able to retain it. And if they bring the lasso rule, last touch out of bounds, it's going to be even more important to have skills or a key target who can provide a contest for those who have to hack kick it.
He did hit a lot of targets going inside 50 as well, hitting the player leading up rather than just kicking it on Larky's head, which I liked as well.
Yeah.
So, why don't you finish us off with Cooper Trembath?
He was really good. 3 games, three goals in every game. Love the way he's just to get into the team itself. Same as Banch from mid-season draft, and it was really good the way the club, he played the one VFL game before he was drafted, and then he's out-managed this week.
Yeah.
It's a bit sly. That was good, well done by the club. Tick for them. But, on 3 games, his play ratings, he got 24th in the Syd, so he's beaten 14 players in 3 games. I think I said the thing last night, if he averaged that, he would have won it for the whole year, but that's obviously a big reach. But I've given him a B+, because what more could he have done?
Yeah, I'll go next. You've covered a lot, but he's 193 centimetres. So he's a perfect height, and he's from this very small sample size, he's got the mobility as well. So that height, mobility, third tall.
Pumped up PC. You call him? That's your nickname?
Yeah, I do. Well, he's got the PC looks. But it's a small sample size, but he came on with a bang, and Fredo touched on it. But a lot of people criticise Brady, but he hit him away. We got him round 2. We got Banger Banch with the first pick. We knew we'd get him with the second pick, and we did. He provided great presence, and we got to remember Larky wasn't there as well for all his games, and Bull got injured in one, and then he missed the next one.
Yep.
So he was basically not there for 2 of them. He's a great contested mark, good at ground level, and that's what separates him from the Finbars of the world and the Teakles, if you like. And he can provide pressure as well. So we're not losing something to have a marking option there. 1 year contract extension should have been 2. Brady, if you're going to get the pen out for players, give him 2. I know it's 3 games, a small sample size, but as Fredo said, 3 goals in each game. So he didn't come on with a bang and then fall off. He was consistent in all games as far as goal kicking. He kicked 9. He averaged 9 disposals a game. Kicked 9 goals 4, so his shots a goal were pretty good, which gave him an average of 3, which is elite. Now, if he does that for 20 games, he's a 60-goal player next year. But I'm not saying he'll do that, but we may as well aim high. Goal accuracy, 69%, which is also elite. Expectations, well, he exceeded mine. I wanted to have a look at him, but I didn't think when he came in he'd go bang.
No.
And we're already talking about Adrian McAdam earlier and how exciting that can be. And I think it's similar, not as high, but similar with him. And I grade him an A-. And I was actually thinking of an A. But I thought he went to an A- because it's probably not his fault, but it took a while for him to get a game. So he was in the VFL. But I loved his work.
Right, I'll close this off. So obviously 28 votes in the Syd Barker in 3 games, and I've just had a look at the average goals per game. There's only 2 players in the AFL who have a greater goals per game average than him. Obviously, yes, played 3 games, but you still got to do it, which is Gunston and Jeremy Cameron. So 2 elite players. The thing that impressed me the most is his goals were against good opposition.
I was about to say
so he had Sam Taylor, who was the All-Australian full-back in his first game, and he kicked 3. The Richmond backline, can't quite remember who his direct matchup was, but I mean, there's a lot of experience down there with Floston and Bolter and Nathan Broad, so to kick 3. And then he had Josh Worrell in round 24, who should have been an All-Australian defender as well. So
Yeah, it was Broad who played on him.
was Broad, yeah.
Oh no, he played in PC. Sorry, they look so similar.
Yeah.
Confused me.
So-
But two of those teams were finalists.
Exactly. So he's done it against good opposition, 9 goals in 3 games, 3-3-3, and I've graded him an A because I'm just grading off what I saw.
Yeah,
And he was brilliant, and he probably should have only kicked 8 because he stole one of PC's, but that's what happens when you look so much alike that you can take marks off him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and my only message to supporters is let's not get too carried away and expect him to continue it, but hopefully a full pre-season and he can really solidify his spot as that dangerous sort of third tall forward.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I'm just thinking less high expectations. The dream would be a big Charlie Curnow type, wouldn't he? But I don't know if he's got that in him, but he's had a better year than Charlie Curnow.
Yeah.
On a limited sample size. Well, let's get on to the...
I had my notes covered up with the Syd Barker reward, so I did have another thing written down. Love the fact that he, I think the advice from the Barlow, wasn't it, to get himself fitter, like at the end of last year, did his own gym sessions before work, I think, because he was a tradie or something, to do all that and to show the commitment at that age when it'd be easy to think, oh no, I'll just sit in the VFL or his local club, get good coin, go to, he thought, I want another chance at AFL, and you love those sort of players. To get picked in the draft, I mean, he was probably lucky we got him in a way. Otherwise, he'd still be doing the same thing because they hid him away, and it just shows good commitment and desire to improve. So maybe we've finally got a gem from the mid-season draft.
Yeah.
Finally.
Better late than
maybe
never.
2 in 1 in one season.
And can play down back as well.
Yes.
He's got that versatility.
Yes.
Which is why I'm with you that the 1 year deal is just baffling.
I think
to me.
because he's a rookie player, you can't give him 2.
Well, you're not allowed to.
Don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, this is your wheelhouse, Fredo. This is why we have you on the
That's
pod.
why I said think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I think it might be a 1 extension plus as a player. If he locks in 2 as a rookie, as the manager, probably they're the ones after the money. It means you're stuck on a rookie contract for 2 more years.
He's still on the rookie list, is he?
Oh, you would.
No.
Well, you're drafted as a rookie. I think, in the
okay.
mid-season.
That makes sense.
So he's on the rookie. You give him 1 year, he'll back himself in to have a good year, even just an average year for an AFL player. He'll get a 2-year extension on the senior list, I suppose.
Yeah, and better coin.
Brady probably listening at home saying, get the frog on more often. Stop cooking me for
Oh no!
things I can't help.
I just think I don't think you see 2-year extensions on the rookie list. And if
No, you've got to be upgraded.
if they promoted him to the senior list now, that means we'd have to delist another player.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, and that's why the Frog's got his own laptop here and he's running the show.
Yeah.
Right, well, so we'll move on to we'll rate the team last, but we'll do each third of the ground if you like. So the forwards, just a quick word or just a rating.
B+.
Yeah, that's what I got. B+. I think they overperformed. We had shocking entries and lack of entries, and I think they're our best line. So I've given them a B+.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'd go B+, and they're on the rise because they're starting to get a bit more better ball use coming in with McKercher and Hardeman if he gets up. So even Daniel, when he does run through the mid, he gets some good low darts going in there. Sheasel, obviously.
Well, they're...
Because they've been struggling for inside 50s.
Yeah.
They're definitely up this year. Our offence was up, but defence is still...
Yeah, they rely on the rest of the team.
Yeah.
They rely on the mids to get it in there.
And when it is a bit dirty, we've got some really good one-on-one players up there now. Darling, Curtis, Zerha, potentially Trembath, obviously showing that. And Larky's really good on the lead and stuff, so he's got some skills of his own.
All right, midfielders.
B for me.
Yeah, I'd probably go B.
I went B-.
B-. Your man X is in there.
Yeah, well,
There's 5. Well, he's the wingers too, I suppose.
he's an A, we know that. But I think we won the clearances, and that's got him a B. This is This is comparing our midfield to every other midfield in the AFL. So I've given them a B-, and they'd easily be a B or even a B+ if they could kick the ball a bit better.
Well, I've gone B as well.
Yeah.
Right. So and now,
But that includes the wingers too.
Yeah, it's a whole
really
midfield.
only, like,
It's a third of the ground.
Jai at the end was pretty handy. Stevens was okay, but they're a long way behind the others with the wing, which counts as part. Obviously, the ruckman's doing his bit, and probably
She's.
and She's and the others aren't far away, but I think we're on the ball there.
I just think, we think it's a real weapon of ours, but I think our weapon's now the forward line. We just got to get it in more often and better quality. But the midfielders are still better than average. I mean, B or B minus is better than the average.
Yeah, if we get LDU back up a bit and George to hopefully
play full
explodes
season.
in suddenly, maybe we think we already are, but we're not really one of the better mids in it.
That's
Potentially
exactly right.
are.
Yeah. Last line, the defenders. The much maligned defenders who, again, a bit like the forwards, rely on a bit of dirty ball coming down and not elite waves of ball.
I've gone D+.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with D+. I haven't only just doing it off the fly, but
So am I,
there are a lot of various reasons, but they still struggle a lot with one-on-one and the structure and that's all of them, isn't it?
Yeah, I went D+ as well. And another thing on the midfield is why they got a B- for me was because of the lack of pressure of the ball coming into the defenders. So we need a bit more defensive nous.
Can I just say, I've heard from someone who's got good knowledge at the club that there's going to be a serious sit down and maybe an acknowledgement that the defensive system's not working and outdated. So we might see a new setup in 2026, hopefully.
Let's hope so. And so now we get on to the team. Well, I'm running this little section, so I'll keep going. Team expectations was below for me. I think I wanted.
You had about 8, 10.
I think I wanted 8.
I think we had 10. I had 10.
Yeah, I think I think 10.
I had 8, and I was the lowest.
Yeah, you were the lowest.
Yeah, so obviously 5.5, well below that. And I've graded the team as a whole as a C-, and it was looking D-ish, but I think we finished. We had good patches. We improved on last year. Last year, well, I don't think we rated the team, but it would have been in the D's. And I think we showed enough improvement, but still below expectations, so it's a C-.
Oh, couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one as well.
Right. What else have we got?
That's it. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to part 3 of our player reviews. That's all done. We'll continue to put out our AFLW content. The girls in a big grand final rematch today. And then we've got some exciting stuff to bring you. Obviously, Yes No Wait's going to return for all your trade questions. We're going to have a look at who is going to be in our next final side. We'll go through each line and discuss the players from there as well. And plenty more content to come out. So get your questions in, get your voice messages in, and stay with us, boners, because there's plenty more content coming your way. Thanks, Frog, for jumping on, and you'll be taking a more prominent role in the next couple of weeks as the Big Chief jet's away again.
Yeah, he's out for a couple.
Yeah. Might not get back in.
Well, maybe not. The Frog brings what he's brought today.
Yeah. And Chief, enjoy your holiday, and thanks for joining us yet again.
Yeah, no, great to be here. Girls should have a win today. I've tipped that already. Go on the Kangas.
Right, until next time, thanks again for your support. Like, subscribe. Gurus!
So join in